in progress.
Okay, আমরা formally শুরু করি জি আসসালামু আলাইকুম and very good evening to everyone. On behalf of NextEdge Consultia, I ABM Kalimullah warmly welcome to all to today's live webinar session, and the topic is technology as a wonderful tool for banking. We are delighted to have participants joining us from different parts of the country and as well as the world. NextEdge Consultia's mission is to empower organization and professionals with right knowledge, strategies, and innovation to thrive in a ever-changing digital landscape. And we believe in bridging the gap between technology and business excellence. And today's session is a testament of that version. Now it's my honor to introduce our distinguished speaker for the evening, Mr. Takudzwa Zaranyika Shelton. In short, we call him as a TK. So you can call him as a TK. He is a very good person, and more than he's from Zimbabwe and currently work with us in Nadia IT Solution and Bangladesh. And he's a senior consultant over the 20 years experience in different modules. And basically he is a work for Temenos. Temenos is a core banking solution. In our country, it is used more than 9 banks. And he is expert in retail, credit module, that means lending, treasury, as well as different deposit modules. And he's a MBA and Prince 2 certified. So I am not lingering the session. So let's welcome to TK, and it's over to you, TK. So you can deliver your session. So after the session, we will have a QA session, question and answer session. So we'll try to address all of your questions as much as possible. So be patient. So over to you, TK.
Thanks, Kalim, and thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to meet all of you. Okay, Kalim is thanks for the wonderful introductory remarks. As Kalim said, I'm a core banking consultant or core banking professional, but having said that, my passion is both technology and banking. So it's where those two meet. I get to enjoy a career. So I've had more than 20 years indeed in that career. I think I've worked in almost 20 countries also with close to 25 banking institutions, from tier 1 banks all the way to the microfinance banks in different stages of crafting and adopting their technology solutions. So I breathe banking and I enjoy technology or adoption of those technologies. So today, I'm going to take a few minutes. The topic is very broad, and it's one that I can talk to the whole day. Like I said, this is what I breathe every day. So I've tried to touch a few things and take you on a journey. I'll present a couple of slides. Just a ground rule. You know, the main food in Zimbabwe is something called sadza, and it gives me this weird accent. So if what I'm saying, or if I speak too fast, please stop me with my Zimbabwe sadza eating accent. I'll try to make it like a rice eating accent, and probably you hear me better. So please don't let me ramble on if what I'm saying is not clear. So please stop me so that we help each other. But having said this, I'm look, this session is not about TK or about you. It's about all of us and sharing notes, sharing experiences. Every time I drop into a particular country, I hope to get better. Whether what I learned in Europe, what I learned in the Middle East, what I've learned in Africa, where I'm from, I hope to get better, and I take those lessons to my next stop in the consulting journey, and hoping banking gets better and better at every stop that we go. So I will share some slides, and that's me. That's TK, and I just love banking and just love seeing technology making banking better. Let me share my screen.
Tigeba, you can use some Bangla word.
I'll try. I'll try.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at this. So I've always said farmers have plows and hoes and other tools. Builders have the trowel and the shovels and cement mixers and other tools. Technology is just one of those tools and adopted by various industries. So in banking, it has really come as a wonderful tool, and it's not a new tool. Every generation, if you go to my father or grandfather, they will also say what technology did for them in their banking experience. So if I look back, let me minimize this. If I look back, banking has always been about trust and how to record transaction and making sure if I give you my money will still be there. If you lent me $5, I will not find that tomorrow you are saying, no, we gave you $100. It should be followed. And when technology came into this banking space, it came as an accelerator, it came as an enabler, it came as something that brought transformation. We'll look at the various ways in which, excuse me, let me just put my phone on silent quickly. Okay. So technology came as a way which has accelerated or transformed the way we do banking. The banking needs are still the same. Customers still need an account, still need to save, still need to deposit, withdraw, get a loan, still need to do whether the TF or whatever it is. So the banking needs have not changed. It is the banking ways that have changed. So if you are not careful, you may remain in the past thinking you are saving the banking needs, but maybe the way you are saving the banking needs is now gone. If someone says, I'll give you a passbook today, we may refuse it because now we don't need a passbook. I need a Visa card, a MasterCard. That's what I need. And in today's world, banking and technology are inseparable. We can no longer separate. You can't think of banking without thinking of what system is it running. Even to get a license from the central bank, they will say, what system are you going to run? So it has become not a want, but a need. You can't do banking if you don't have the correct technological tools. But it was not always like that. In the early days, it was branch-based. You needed to go to the bank. The bank would tell you, oh, I operate from 8 to 2. If you come after 2, sorry, we are closed, come tomorrow. This meant people had to flock to the branch all the time because the banking hours were limited. Checks would clear after 21 days, after 30 days. The whole scenario, if you imagine it with today's eyes, with today's lens, you may think it unimaginable. But that is what banking was. There were long queues, lots of human errors. And if you look at Bangladesh, there were manual clearinghouses, there were passbooks that every customer, you'd manually jot what balance have they done, what transaction have they done, and so forth. And it was, if we look, like I said, with today's lens, you'd think, what kind of banking was that? Come in the 1960s, I think 1967 to be exact, when the first ATM was introduced by Barclays in the UK. It was still an expensive adventure, but at least now we had some digital representation of the money that the client had. So the 70s and 80s were really about the ATM. In Bangladesh, I think the ATM took main center stage only 30 years later, around the 1990s. And the clearinghouse was also being introduced or being enhanced. It was, the manual one was there from back then, but we needed an electronic clearing house, but it was not yet there, and the technology was still catching up as a country. We were now catching up to that. The ATMs brought an additional facility where customers could have access to the money outside the normal banking hours. The first benefit was faster processing, fewer errors, because the ATM, or at least the systems, could talk to each other with fewer errors or minimum number of errors. That was a direct benefit as the 30-year period, which I call the first wave, from late 60s into the early 2000s. So in that first wave, up to the 90s, where the main thing was the card. The card came in, electronic clearing started being mooted and thought up of, and the partnership between technology and banking was being established. Then we had a second wave. This second wave comes in between the mid-2000s and the first decade, mid-90s and the first decade of the 2000s. Where I learned banking from with a company called with a bank first. I worked in a bank for several years, and then I moved to a technology company, like Kalim said. I worked for Temenos. Temenos, if we look at core banking platforms, it has been registered as #1 globally. So I always say at least one bank in every country, no matter what state of the country, war or peace or what otherwise, is running on Transact or on the Temenos software. So I learned banking from the #1 core banking system or platform in the world. And this company was established at the peak of this technology revolution, which I call the second wave. It was in 1993 when this company was established. And by the first decade, they had become, first decade of the 2000s, around 15, 16 years into its life, it had become the #1 banking system in the world. It shows how banks were adopting and catching on to technology. So the core banking systems emerged between the 90s and the early 2000s. The platforms were there. They were, each branch was there. So the guys who operated maybe in the 80s would say, but we had computers. But you would have a platform which could save that particular branch, and you needed to have an offline process which would update the mainframes maybe by end of day. In some cases, depending on the technology constraints, it could even take a week before the balance could be updated correctly. But now the centralized real-time online processing platforms, the core banking platforms, came in the 90s. And we now had centralized data. We now had real-time operations. We now had online updates of any data or movements that are happening thereof. The internet banking came and complemented the debit and credit card that were there. We began to have the internet revolution was also coming in. So as banking adopted the technology that was kicking in, the technology of the day, integration with the global payment networks, the Visas, the MasterCards began to grow. So there was now additional platforms that were there as more and more banks adopted the cards in this 2-decade period. I think Dutch Bangla, I was looking online and seeing which banks started with the internet revolution in Bangladesh. I think I saw Dutch Bangla was one of the pioneers of the internet banking and the adoption thereof in the country. Temenos, FlexCube, and other platforms began to be adopted locally as well as internationally. By the end of the first decade, electronic funds transfers were introduced by the central bank. And as a regulated industry, we usually then follow, and we needed the technology. You can't do this if you were doing the manual processing. So the second wave came and went. If you were stuck, you could be stuck trying to do banking according to the first wave, trying to do banking according to the second wave. But that was not the end of it. We then had a third wave, which takes us to somewhere where we are today. In this third wave, we have had in this third wave, we've had mobile banking taking center stage. We've had banking being not something that people do, that people go to, but something that people do. I don't need to go to the branch to do banking. I can transfer money from my mobile. I can request a loan from my mobile. I can open an account from my mobile. I can close an account from my mobile. And if we are not careful, if you are still wanting people to fill in lots of forms, you may be left out. Because if your competitor is operating digitally and you are operating in 1960, when the first typewriters or electronic typewriters were made for journaling and updating in the back office, you are left behind. Now we have digital wallets. In Africa, we had a wallet which we called M-Pesa. If you Google anything about M-Pesa, I want to give an example here about, there was a partnership between this mobile wallet called M-Pesa in Kenya and a bank called CBA. I was part of that project. They were the first adopters of mobile money, I think 2007, 2008. We already had what was this equivalence of Bcash. We had it, my first project on that integration between a bank and a Bcash kind of was in 2009. At M-Pesa, what we did, we had people applying for what we call nano loans or small loans. The nano loans were your 1,000 taka kind of loan. And to give evidence of this, at the time that we established this product, we had as much as 250, 300,000 in relative terms of the numbers that we had back then. So it will be about the equivalent of $10. We had 250, 300,000 applying in a single day. If we turned over just a third of that particular number, at $10 a day, 100,000 people, that would be $1 million that you would lend out every day. And these nano loans usually don't come with interest. They come with a service fee, flat fee, 10%. So it would mean if you're turning over $1 million USD every day of the nano loans, we were turning over 100,000 profit on a daily basis on a product that is running digitally, that has very little manpower in the background, that people are applying from the comfort of their homes. They are not coming and making our banking was busy, and that had limited default. So you find that that technology, it was an investment to set up the technology, but the bank with the numbers, and I'm keeping the numbers minimum. These were the initial numbers. I would encourage you to look at what the M-Pesa numbers and the numbers that they've achieved over the decade and a half that they've been live. So this gave rise to the fintech boom. If you go to Europe, the neobanks, if you look at, there's a company called Revolut. If you look at Revolut, what they've done in Europe, they've told you, okay, you can bank with whoever, but as soon as you get your money transferred to our wallet, when you transfer it to your wallet, that bank will even remind you to say, oh, today is the 5th. You usually pay your rent today, but we see you don't have money in the wallet. Do you want us to lend you? They are proactive enough to give you a loan, and with loans, we know that's how banks make money. So technology is coming in aiding the growth of the business in various facets and being proactive with the customer. The customer feels valued. Oh, the bank knows me. They even know that I need to pay my rental, and today is the day I pay. So with digitization or movement into this third wave, it has really grown the customer base. Technology can grow where brick and mortar was not. In the past, if I needed a bank in the village, I needed to go and build one, but sometimes it was not economically viable. But if I have a banking app, financial inclusion, convenience, and real-time services become more convenient. If someone says, my mother in the village says, please send me money, I can easily send the money in the next 5 seconds because I just log onto the app and I do the transfer. I can transfer to a digital wallet, I can transfer to another bank, and all of it is happening in real time. The enabler of this has been this wonderful thing that we have called technology in banking. So where are we today? Where are we today? If you are doing banking and you are not digital first, you may be operating in the past. If you are doing banking and you're thinking your customers are just your own, you may be operating in the past. Because if you look at, I've always said you find that when we look at whether it's Africa or even this part of Asia, we follow what the trends in banking. If you look in Europe, now there's a concept of open banking, where it's regulated that you should share your customer information with the next bank or with the next fintech that's coming. That's how the banks were now losing the business to the new fintechs, because I could know that, oh, this person has the following products or banks with this particular bank and they have a credit card under open banking. With open banking, a customer or can walk in and tell you, you can get my information from this bank. So the KYC is already done by another bank, and the next bank can use that information which is already there because the regulator has said you should share. So you may think your information is your own, but I can guarantee you very soon Bangladesh will also follow and say, oh, this is the new regulation, because the people we deal with and the advisors who advise us on how we adopt the banking processes will tell us to go open banking. With today's banking, we have managed to have a huge number of agent banking. The other day, I wanted to buy something online, and then told me, "Oh, you need Bcash." Then I said, "I'm a foreigner. I don't have a Bcash account," because I failed to open a Bcash account. Then they said, "No, but you can just find." It was a weekend. I just walked down from my apartment, and there's a guy by the corner. He took my payment, and my stuff was delivered. So there's lots of agent banking. There's lots of digital banking, and if we look at 2025, if you're not looking at how AI is going to impact your banking, agent banking, agentic banking, which is being driven by AI, the chatbots, how integrations, because right now it's not about just about having a core bank. You need a core banking platform, but it's also about all the ecosystem that you put around that particular core banking, where we put systems to talk to mobile banking, systems to talk to internet banking, systems to talk to the ATM, systems to talk to WhatsApp, systems to talk to Facebook. Find the customer where they are. If your customer, in my bank in Zimbabwe, if I open my phone, if I say hi to my bank, it will respond, "Hi, how are you? What can I do for you?" Because they've integrated the core banking platform with the WhatsApp platform. If I say, "Please transfer money," it will say, "To which account?" I reply. It's like a message. So it finds me where I am. So I talk to my bank through WhatsApp, and I do the transfer without filling a form, without following some structured. I talk to my bank like I talk to my friend. That's how the technology has come and helped me. And with that, if I find another bank which asks me to fill in a form, come and do this, or go to our platform, it asks me, "Oh, that customer, which district are they, which Tana, or whatever it is," why are you creating friction? Technology is there to reduce the friction, not to add friction. It should be frictionless banking. Let's oil up the process and make sure that the process is as smooth as possible. But if you ask me to fill in 1,000 forms, I run away. The next bank that can give me convenience, I join that one. So the customer experience should be enhanced. I should feel that I'm seeing the same thing, whether I'm looking at the ATM, whether I'm going to the branch, whether I'm going to the mobile app, whether I go to the internet banking. It should feel that you own it. So technology helps us to do this. We can have user-friendly apps. I've seen the Big Cash app, which is both Bangla, English, and you can operate it. And we have a lot of other banks that have tried to introduce chatbot, but it's not just to hang a chatbot or to hang a mobile app and you say you are digital. You need to be deliberate about it and look at how do you make it helpful. Like I said, with my bank in Zim, once they came on WhatsApp, I don't really need any other because I can chat with the bank on WhatsApp. If I chat with the bank on WhatsApp, I then do my banking through that WhatsApp service. What about security and compliance? This needs now to be enhanced because the more we become digital, the more we need to keep the customer safe. We can introduce biometric, which is another sphere where technology has come and helped us, whether it's fingerprint, it's facial recognition, whichever way we want to use biometric, iris, the eyes, and so forth, as we adopt these things. In terms of onboarding, I've seen the eKYC locally here, but this has been enhanced globally. Lots of institutions have now, or technologies that are now there for digital IDs. In most of the Nordic countries, like when I worked in Europe, most of the Nordic countries, there's a single digital ID that if I quote that ID, it can validate who I am, where I stay, what do I earn, and where I am. So there is a digital ID which I can use to authenticate any transaction that I want to do with anyone. With these digital IDs and the digital KYC companies, it has enhanced from just mere eKYC to a fully fledged onboarding and enhancement process. So not only is it providing convenience, it is also providing the security that we need. With way forward, we need an agile way of adopting technology. We need to assess each institution needs to assess where are you? Where are you in the digital journey? Are you not operating in wave 1 or wave 2 or in wave 3? Because right now, wave 4 is totally underway. Wave 4 of the technology adoption in banks is totally underway. If you are not adopting the wave 4, because the good thing about technology, you can skip some stages. Card was already introduced in 1967. So if your definition of being digital is that we have a card was 1967. Many of us were not born. ATM was in the 90s. Internet banking was in the 90s. So if your definition of being digital is from 30 years ago, then you're still operating in wave 2. Mobile, big cash kind of wallets was in the first decade, 15 years ago. Are you not operating from 15 years ago? With regulators now enforcing open banking, enforcing people to share data, is it not high time you look at the future and design processes around the future? Is it not high time you partner? Because sometimes banks are lethargic. Banks are slow in making the change. You need to maybe partner with someone who is nimble enough, who is fast enough. In banks in Europe were fighting Revolut, but Revolut was having their clients for lunch, was having their pie for lunch because they could. The banks, we thought clients need us, but we will soon realize that banking will be there, but banks may not be there, especially in the form that they are. I saw a couple of news articles. It has been flirting in the media once in a while, even here in Bangladesh, where we talk of maybe a digital taka with blockchain and digital currencies being adopted by various central banks. I know in Africa, quite a number of central banks are now adopted. And like I said, it's because in the West, it's adopted. We will soon adopt because we will need to transact in the same platforms. The customers have been on Bitcoin for the past 15 years. Now the central banks are now finding their way and regulating and coming up with this. I know in Dubai they were introducing the digital dirham and so forth. So if we are not there or not thinking in that light, if the platforms we are setting up are not there, are we going to be, you may be left out with a shell while at least your customers have moved to where they are. So we need to find where are our customers or where are our customers going, and we go with them. Otherwise, we risk that our clients will be there and we are not. And by the time you're scrambling, you make lots of mistakes. So let's look at a wider customer base. Now customers are not only in the city, you can also go to the village with the digital platforms. That has been a positive impact. I love microfinance. I've worked with so many microfinance institutions, and there are some of the people who save the both downtrodden and manage to save them well because they go to where the customer is. So financial inclusion is enabled. There's a huge market that is not serviced just because we were waiting for a branch to come there. But with technology, we can go there without coming there. With limited investment, we have speed, efficiency. Right now, we have digital transfers. There are many money transfers. In the past, it was MoneyGram with a code and everything, but now there are so many other platforms that have come with the digital payments, which has overtaken this business. And if we are not there, like I said, if we say, we want you to transmit your money by SWIFT, we may find ourselves holding onto a SWIFT which has no takers. Clients can now transact 24/7. Clients can now do their own banking without coming to us. So if you still ask me to do a form, I'm very particular about the forms because I think there's so much paperwork that gets done unnecessarily. And I can open an account sitting here, open an account in Europe, send them a copy of my passport, and they open that account and send me my ATM card via DHL, and I receive it here in Bangladesh. And I'm saying something that happened not last year, but that happened this year, where open an account online, send them a copy of the passport, they validate, give them my address, they send the ATM card from Europe to me in Bangladesh. Whereas someone who is in Gushan cannot open an account with a branch that is in Motejo. I have to sit in traffic for 2 hours to come and open an account. That is unfair. Because the technology is there that can make it work and that can make it happen. COVID taught us this, that we could operate digitally, we could operate from anywhere without having to do it physically. The physical nature doesn't need to be there anymore. The future is of AI-powered banks. If you're not looking and exploring how AI can help you, it can make faster decisions, do your credit appraisal for you. I saw in the news recently that the central bank is licensed or given the first intention to license credit appraisal systems. Like what happens globally, where I put my ID, I say I want to buy this car, it gives them a report. Yes, you can afford the car. In the next 5 minutes, 20 minutes, I'm driving the car and I have it with me. If I want a phone, I just go to the provider, they put my ID, it assesses, it tells them you can do it. So if you have, like the nano loans I was talking about, it assesses how have you been transacting and it gives you a nano loan. If your bank is not doing this and trying to look at how does it make quick decisions, and you still want to say, oh, the loan application goes from this manager, then it goes to that manager, then it goes to that manager, then maybe after 3 weeks we'll approve, then after a month and a half we'll disburse. If I have another guy who can disburse the loan in 24 hours, who can disburse the loan in 5 hours in the same day, I'm going there. Banking will be digital because there will be digital currencies. The central banks are introducing digital currencies. Banking will be, the core banking platforms, it will be easier. The barriers to entry, like I said, of technology are going away because most of the core banking platforms, the Temenos, the Oracles, are now offering their banking systems as platforms online, which can be in the cloud. So when you adopt this, the barrier to entry will be lower because you don't need all the technology. So right now, the excuse of not adopting the technologies is slowly fading away. Why would you not adopt the technologies? Why would you still want to run your own server room, to run the carbon footprint of all that electricity and maintaining it and those struggles? It is going away because we are promoting cloud-based technologies, which are easier to innovate, easier to experiment, because you can quickly launch a platform, check if it will work, and make decisions on it without physically adopting. If you don't need the server next month, you can switch it off, and the cost goes away. So the future is AI-powered banks, is people who want robo-advisors for the investment. Right now, customers have to come to you, what if I buy this investment? What if I do a deposit for 7 months? What if I do this TB and all? We will not need it because the investments are being done by robotic advisors, and the robotic advisors will be able to invest. A customer can even set up to say the robot invests on their behalf. So the AI invests on their behalf and sees the trend and sees what to buy, what shares to buy, what shares to sell, and how to manage the portfolio. Banks need to collaborate with fintechs. Fintechs need banks, banks need fintechs. So the technology companies, they may not know banking, but there is some security or the risks that the banks are aware of, which is what the challenge in some of the fintechs. But the collaboration of the two leads to growth. So if you're a banking professional, you should look at what is happening on the fintech market. If you're a fintech professional, look at the bank that has a good vision that you can partner with. The collaborations are inevitable. As we go ahead, banking will become invisible. It's embedded in daily life. Like I said, I already do my WhatsApp banking. It's the normal I do. I then say, oh, I need to chat with my bank the same way I chat with my friend. So banks may become invisible. The brick and mortar part may become invisible. It is just embedded into the way I do life. Oh, I need mobile top up. I need this. I need to pay for my supermarket. It should all be in that small 7-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch screen. I am able to touch it, and on that glass, behind the glass, the full bank should be there. Behind my phone, I should apply for a loan. Behind my phone, I should open an account. Behind my phone, I should transfer the money. Bangladesh is still very much cash-driven, but it will become cashless or cash-light because with more digital platforms, the more digital platforms become efficient, the more we will reduce dependency on cash transactions. Globally, with the real-time money transfer platforms, it is really borderless because I can buy something in China instantly. I can buy something in the US instantly. And these payments take effect. So technology will ensure banking for all. It will ensure banking anytime. It will ensure banking anywhere. This is where the world is and what has been enabled since in the early 60s when the first back office computer was adopted, 60s when the ATMs were introduced, 90s when the internet banking was introduced. Early 2000, mobile banking came. Second decade of the 2000s, mobile wallets came. Now we are fully in the fourth wave, which is AI and AI-based banking, which we call agentic banking. So some jobs may be at risk. And if you are not there, if you are not adopting or knowing how to work and partner with the technology, yes, some jobs may be at risk. That's the downside. But it's a debate that we can have. But in general, we have had core banking in the 90s. That core banking has now been surrounded by so many other platforms, eKYC, anti-money laundering, automatic onboarding, and all sorts of things have come and built around the ecosystem of banking. So you can have your risk management, you can have your fraud detection, you can have your authentications, you can have various types of transactions building around the core banking. So it's no longer about having a core banking system. If your core banking system is naked, does not have an ecosystem around it, then your core banking system is not enough. I'm a core banking professional, but I now understand that core banking in itself is no longer the end. When I first started working, when I first did my banking, it was enough that we have a core banking platform. But now it's not enough to have a core banking platform because so many technologies have come and clothed that core banking. So your core banking cannot be naked. It needs to be clothed by the various technologies around it. This is where you can then talk and see what advisory services and what platforms you can adopt, and you can even lead the regulator. It's not only about, the regulation is this, but the technology, so many times technology comes and leads the regulation. Right now, central banks are coming with digital currencies, but people were already doing Bitcoins. They're saying, we try to fight Bitcoin, let's have our own digital tax. So if you try to fight technology, unfortunately, technology is like a wave. Like that's why we keep on saying first wave, second wave. The wave, if you are in the water, the sea, it will take you. So you need to swim with the wave, or else the wave will take you, and it is a suicide mission. So the wave will come, the wave will go anyway. If you try to fight it or resist it, the wave is coming and the wave is going anyway. This is what technology has done. So in closing, before I open up for Q&A, I want to say technology is not just a tool anymore. It's the lifeline of modern banking. If you are not looking at ways that you adopt this wonderful tool, if it passes you by, you lose it. From the manual ledgers, like I said, when we began, to ATMs, to internet, to mobile, and now to AI. I've tried to cite a number of examples. I try to keep it generic. Like I said, this is a topic I can talk to. If we start diving down to say, let's talk about mobile only and the impact of mobile, it can be a topic on its own. If I talk about core banking systems and how you need that backbone, it's a topic on its own. If I talk about other digital platforms and security, compliance, it's a topic on its own. But all these topics need to be an ecosystem which works to deliver banking. What the client wants is not a bank. I don't need a branch, Gushan branch. I don't need a Motageo branch. That's not what I need. What I need is banking. So banking of the future is not, or I should even say banking of now, is not about a place. It's not about you telling me, come and fill in a form so that you apply for a new card. Come and fill in a form so that you apply for a new checkbook. It's not about that. It's about what I do. I want to do banking. If you enable me to do banking, you may not even see my face, but I will do banking. I have accounts in certain countries, and I've never visited that country for the past 5 years, but my banking still runs in those countries because of what the technology has enabled me to do. Okay, that's what my pitch. I want you to take away that banking is not a place. A bank is not a place. A bank is what people want to do. And in most cases, it's now like this phone. The phone is now my bank. If I have this phone, I have enough that I can do with my bank. With this phone, I'll be able to do what I need to do. That's what I want to do. Thank you very much. But
Thank you, TK. Thank you for your nice deliverable. And now floor is open for you. If you want to ask any question to him, please raise your hand and ask your question. He will answer. তো আপনারা প্রশ্ন করতে পারেন বাংলা ইংরেজি যেভাবে হোক সমস্যা নাই ও আনসার দিবে ও বাংলা বুঝে কিন্তু বলতে পারে না সো ইউ ক্যান আস্ক আ কোশ্চেন
when people don't ask, it's either maximum confusion or
so we can go for second one that they all of us understand the topics very well so that's why they don't have any question
okay
some comment. Okay, any person, you can add something or you can share your experience, whatever you want.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jahid and I work in every bank and I just have enjoyed the entire session. It was really amazing and wonderful. One idea that he shared about open banking, that if any customer has any account in any bank and that and all other banks can share the customers KYC, then it will be very much easier for us to open the account. And he said another thing. Suppose I'm staying in here BD, but I can I'm just able to open any account in any country. So for opening an account, we don't have to go to any bank or branches. We all need is just a cell phone, mobile phone. Okay. So if our regulator introduce the concept of open banking in our country, it will be very much helpful for us. Okay.
Thank you, Bhai. And it will be very soon. It will introduce and open banking concept all over the world. It is established, and in Bangladesh it will open very soon. And he already said about the cloud-based banking, and Bangladesh Bank already issued a circular. You know, as you are in bank for cloud-based banking. So in his presentation, he mentioned lots of things like if we go for cloud-based banking, then we don't need to procure lots of hardware and infrastructure. And whenever we go for implementation or re-implementation or upgradation any project or any CBS project or whatever, if it is a small project, then we need to procure lots of things, lots of infrastructure need to invest. And from the director side or the investor side, they are not willing to invest more money for the infrastructure. So cloud-based banking or cloud-based banking will help to reduce these types of cost or other things. So it will come, inshallah. And already our policymaker also think about it. So let's see what will happen. And but we need to adopt all the things as he mentioned, the technology. If we not adopt the technology, then we will run away from the market. And already we know that if we consider our density of population, financial inclusion, it is not already 50% of people are from not in banking channel. So it is a huge market. So we can go not to customer, no need to customer, don't need to customer to come to bank. So whether we can go to them and we can offer the product or other things. So anyone can add anything. So we can ask or comment anything. Maruf Rashid is unmuted. Do you want? Okay.
হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ,
আমি কি আমার শোনা যাচ্ছে?
জি জি জি
হ্যালো
শোনাচ্ছে।
ভাই।
জি ভাইয়া বলুন।
আচ্ছা ভাই, আমি মূলত কম্পিউটার ইঞ্জিনিয়ার, হ্যাঁ, একটা ব্র্যাক ব্যাংকে আছি। তো আমার একটা প্রশ্ন ছিল যে আসলে আপনারা এখানে একটা স্লাইডে দেখাইছেন যে বিটকয়েন প্লাস এআই এর সম্বন্ধে কিছু বলছেন, আমি একটু পরে জয়েন করেছি। তো এই দুইটা বাংলাদেশের ব্যাংকিং সেক্টরে কি রকম ব্যবহার হচ্ছে বা এটার ভবিষ্যৎ কি, আমি এটা সম্বন্ধে একটু জানতে চাচ্ছিলাম।
Actually, okay, TK, actually he wants to know about the Bitcoin and AI, whether it is used in Bangladesh or not, and what is the future actually. And if I'm not wrong, he is working in BRAC Bank. Am I right?
Yes, right.
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 Okay. They okay. Let's you asked two separate things. So first of all, the digital currencies, the central banks around the world have now started adopting. If you go online, I was looking at what the position is with Bangladesh when I was preparing for this. I saw as early as maybe around the peak of COVID, they started talking about something called digital taka. So earlier on this year again, it has come up and was raised again. So central banks, like if I give an example in Africa or in Dubai, there's now the digital naira or the digital dirham. So with that, with those blockchain, with the bitcoins were already there, they are being used. You can adopt. But now the central banks are trying to gain back the control by creating a currency, which is a digital currency, which will be run digitally by the central bank. So it's coming. It's definitely coming, like, because it has started and the wave started. Like I said, what usually happens is the West will do it and we follow. The West will do it and we follow. So that's coming. With regards to AI, AI is a broad term. Many people will say, what does AI mean? And if you everyone is just saying AI. So you now need to define how are you giving a definition to your AI. For example, I said you can put in what we call agentic banking, such that behind it is learned how to answer any quick answers, how to make quick decisions on behalf of you. So if a client says, I'm failing to transfer or this is happening, something can quickly answer them immediately. They don't need to call or at the back of it. It's now an agent is making a decision for them. If, say, I want to invest money in 30-day fixed deposit, is it okay? Some robotic advisor can assess the market, see where the market is going, and give advice to say the investment you want to do is okay or is not okay. Then the banking part or the advisory part has been transferred to something that can analyze million times faster than a human being. Making a loan. So this is about you. It's not about even the central bank allowing you to adopt. It's about you and your risk assessment. If you say we are going to integrate to a credit reference bureau, like I said, I saw that there are 5 companies that have been licensed or that are being licensed to set up the next generation of Bangladesh credit bureau.
Private CBI, yes.
Private credit reference bureau. So those private reference bureau, if they share their information, you'll be able to have your platform connect to that, get a response, make a decision, lend or not lend, and even then automatically disperse. So it can be adopted. I hope that answers you both. On AI, AI is about us adopting. So we say, to what extent do you want it as an advisor? Do you want it as a decision-making platform, as an aid for decision or automated decision-making, or even answering, like in customer services, that the customer can quickly answer, oh, what's my balance? Oh, I'm failing to do this, and the advisor will give them an answer as to why they are getting the error that they are getting.
থ্যাংক ইউ ঠিক আছে মারুফ ভাই, আপনার মনে আনসারটা পেয়েছেন?
জি, থ্যাংক ইউ
ভাইয়া। জি, আর কেউ কি কোনো কোশ্চেন করবেন? এনিওয়ান or any compliment you can add?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm just going to ask you another question. I just want to add one more thing. I'm Jayat from AB Bank again. he said that about AI chatbot and AI agent uh, uh, in our country, in BD, in which stage we are at present. Are we using, are some bank using AI chatbot, or is there any bank which is using AI agent?
Actually, ठीक है, I took the opportunity
Okay,
to answer the
Dhanwad,
question.
thank
Okay,
you.
okay. Prime Bank introduced Black Bank as well, but it is limited edition, and they just query about some common question. What he said, TK said that if we integrated all the data so that the chatbot can answer most of the question. If it is not given by the automated way, then it will.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. I have some idea about AI chatbot and AI agent. But and though my knowledge is very much little, still I want to you know that recently AB Bank has signed an agreements with uh, fintech company is called Phelps, and we have an apps. It's called Abby Direct, and very soon we are going to disburse nano loan by
Through the
using
bot.
our apps, by
Okay,
using the apps.
okay.
And I will be very much happy. Actually, not I will be very much happy if our banks, if all our banks, just apply AI agent. What he said about the agentic banking. Okay,
Yes.
if agenting banking starts to happen in our country, then it will reduce cost to a large extent. It's my you know uh,
Exactly.
impression.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Is very right. That's why I was giving that example to say where the bank which was making over $100,000 every day in profit with a system that was self-running.
So I think
So now, if you make it at a bigger scale, this was for nano loans, but you can even make it for the bigger loans also and bigger agentic banking. So thank you very much for your insights and your additions. You are very right. Like I said, if you don't adopt it, you may operate in first wave. But now we are in the fourth wave of the technological adoption in banking. It has gone through 3 waves already. Now we are deep inside the fourth wave. And if you are not there, you may drown.
okay. Thank you, everyone. So I like to introduce Mr. Aliullah Sujan and invite him to give the vote of thanks to all of them, all of us, all of the participants. Aliullah Sujan bhai, please.
So thank you, Kalim bhai. It was really a very informative session. Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Aliullah Sujan. I'm a consultant of NextEdge Consultia and presently working in a steel manufacturing plant in Bangladesh. Though I'm not in banking sector, I'm from engineering background. But it was really a very informative session. So for whatever I tried to listen and tried to get the knowledge. So on behalf of our NextEdge Consultia, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Takudzwa. I think I pronounce your name correctly, right?
Very right.
Sorry
You
if
pronounce
I.
it better than Kalim.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your insights here. Thank you so much. So, technology in the banking sector, what you have already shared that it's a very booming sector in Bangladesh also, and technology has will be played a very crucial role. Once again, I also thank all the participants for joining us today. and making this webinar very exciting and meaningful. Actually, the NextEdge Consultia, what we are trying to do, we always try to give back to the society in many ways, in adding values, sharing knowledge. So it's a platform where we always try to share knowledge to other people, other professionals. It might be in project management sector. Now the banking sector has already added in this portfolio, so it's very we're growing. So we are very happy to share the knowledge to the professionals in the field of banking sector and other professional portfolios. So thank you once again for joining us today, and I hope this journey of knowledge sharing in future session will be continuing. So that's all. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Sujan bhai. TK, if you say some last word.
No, thank you. Thank you very much, Kalim, and thanks everyone for joining. Hope we can meet in other sessions outside and discuss how we make it happen from being theoretical and practically put this in place. And I look forward to connecting with all of you. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. We can connect, but mostly on LinkedIn, so we keep it professional. Thank you very much, and it was really exciting. Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, TK. Thank you, all of you. So good night. Have a good day.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.